A Pulaski County man is in custody after the sheriff's office says he assaulted one woman and killed another on Saturday morning. Jeremy Tom spoke with the sheriff's department this afternoon about the incident.
The Pulaski County Sheriff's Office says 57-year-old John Stacy is accused of assaulting, kidnapping, and attempting to murder a female victim within her home in the eastern part of the county early Saturday morning. Later that morning, they say Stacy shot and killed 58-year-old Rebecca Owens outside her home on Paradise Lake Drive, less than a mile away from the first scene. Sergeant Cody Cundiff says Stacy has a very recent criminal history.
Mr. Stacy went to jail back in June on unrelated offenses. It's my understanding that during his time in jail, someone apparently stole several items from him.
Cundiff couldn't say whether the two victims would have any knowledge of the theft, adding the only connection between the three people was that they were neighbors. However, they did connect the two violent occurrences to one another.
Basically because of the time frame of the events and the fact that both of them happened to be involving a firearm.
Sergeant Cundiff says the information they received from the assault victim was crucial in helping their task force to track down Stacy later Saturday evening. Cundiff says citizens called 911 after he was acting strange Saturday night inside a dollar store and was later arrested on Kentucky Route 461 during a traffic stop. Cundiff says they have not yet found a murder weapon.
I believe we have enough evidence in this case to be able to move forward without it.
And he also noted that Stacy's home on nearby Sparrow Drive burned down the next day.
You know, the fire department goes out there and they believe it to be arson. They would contact the state fire marshal for investigation.
Jeremy Toms, WYMT Mountain News.
Cundiff says the assault victim is recovering and has non-life-threatening injuries. Stacy faces charges of murder, attempted murder, burglary, kidnapping, and assault. He's being held at the Pulaski County Detention Center on a $500,000 bond. In Wayne County, a man is arrested after a traffic stop leads deputies to a drug bust at a hotel. Sheriff Tim Catron conducted a traffic stop around 1:30 this morning and noticed suspicious activity in the parking lot of a Best Western on Kentucky 90. Officials noticed the smell of marijuana coming from inside the car and found 2 grams of meth and a bag of cannabis. Deputies obtained a search warrant for the hotel room where the driver was staying, and they found more meth at the hotel. David C. Grimes is facing marijuana possession and drug paraphernalia charges. An arrest in a deadly Bath County shooting. State police booked Michael Walker into the Rowan County Jail around 4 this afternoon. He's charged with murder. State police have not released information about the arrest yet, but the jail says it is connected to the deadly shooting this morning. The coroner says 44-year-old Earl Stevens was shot and killed inside a home on Adams Road. State police say at least 3 people were inside the home at the time of the shooting. The Hal Rogers Parkway is back open after a log truck tipped over in Leslie County. The Thousand Sticks Volunteer Fire Department, Cornetsville Volunteer Department, and the Leslie County Sheriff's Office, along with others, responded to this scene near the Hyden Spur earlier. The driver was not injured and no other injuries were reported at the scene. John Newell with the Thousand Sticks Volunteer Fire Department says the Highway Department will be putting sand on the road to make it safer to drive on.
Well, the forecast this evening shows no signs of slowing down as rain continues to drift across our region this evening. Let's take a look and see what's going on out there. And we're looking at the rain slowly coming through the region as we head deeper into the evening. And we're going to continue to see that the first part of the nighttime hours as well. Live pinpoint Doppler radar. Some heavy rain approaching Hazard here tonight. We're looking at Jackson just to the south of that as well, going over toward Pikeville into southwest Virginia and across parts of East Tennessee. So winding down a little bit, but look back out past Columbia. A little bit more trying to get its act together out there near I-65, so we'll keep an eye on that for you too. US 119, US 23 near Pikeville Commons as people start to head home from work this evening. We're going to continue to see Again, the possibility for some temperatures out there that are staying on the milder side as we head deeper into the nighttime hours. We're looking at 79 in Clintwood over in Southwest Virginia, 81 in Hazard, 77 Pikeville, Jackson and Somerset, 73 in Williamsburg, 75 in Middlesboro. The app forecast as we head deeper into the night, we're going to continue to see the possibility for some scattered thunderstorms across the region, and those should taper off after midnight. We'll have more on the extended forecast coming up here in just a little bit. Steve?
Brandon, thank you. Kentucky State Police are still investigating the death of an elderly woman in Jackson County. We told you more about this today at 4. 83-year-old Mary King Abrams was found dead at her home on Rice Hill Road on Saturday. The coroner says it appears Abrams died from a puncture wound. New today, state police say the victim's car was stolen. It's a 2017 gray Ford Escape. They say the suspects are to be considered armed and dangerous, but no names of any potential suspects have been released. Attorney General Daniel Cameron has not yet filed a motion to appeal a judge's ruling to place a temporary injunction on the state's abortion ban law. A judge made the decision Friday. It allows abortions in the state until the case goes to trial. According to the ruling, the court found a, quote, substantial likelihood that these laws violate the rights to privacy and self-determination. It says those rights are protected by multiple sections of the state's constitution. The Attorney General argues that Kentucky's constitution does not protect abortion. He has said he will appeal it. Virginia's Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears is the latest to make the trip to Tazewell and Buchanan counties following severe flooding in the region. She says the goal is to hear directly from those impacted. In an open discussion with constituents in Bandy, Sears heard about a range of issues, including flood insurance and FEMA funding, and also just basic day-to-day necessities.
Hygiene supplies, cleaning supplies, somewhere for clothes, you know, just the basics, food, water, a place to sleep, and yet we seem to be caught off guard all the time.
After Sears' visit to Bandy, she stopped in Richlands to meet with local elected leaders there. She then continued on to Buchanan County, making a stop in the community of Pilgrim's Knob. She saw firsthand the significant damage left behind by this month's flooding. Virginia's Governor Glenn Youngkin also visited Buchanan County recently too. The family of a fallen Eastern Kentucky hero will now be able to see his name proudly displayed each time they head home. 24-year-old Corporal Jacob Moore of Catlettsburg was killed in a NATO training exercise in March. The young Marine was a graduate of Boyd County High School, and today, in front of a crowd of family, friends, and dignitaries, a highway sign bearing his name was unveiled. Governor Andy Beshear says it's important to remember the sacrifice made by this son of Kentucky.
As governor, but also as a dad of a son, you know, the right thing to do is to be here to pay my respects. And it's first to the family. We think a lot about this amazing young man, and we should, but his family is grieving. They lost a 24-year-old. That is not supposed to happen. But then to also honor the service, the dedication of his life, the amazing way he lived those short 24 years, we're here to do them both.
The sign was installed immediately following the ceremony in an area chosen by Jacob's mom, Michelle. 11,000 hours spent volunteering, decades dedicated to giving back. A life and smile remembered for the light and sweetness it brought out in everyone around. WYMT's Buddy Forbes shares the story of a man who was all about giving and what that gave to those who love him.
Bobby Sullivan was...
He was something else, let me tell you.
The dedicated volunteer spent the last 21 years giving back.
When he walked through the door, I thought, uh-oh, here's trouble, because of that big personality.
Becoming a pillar in Pikeville Medical Center's volunteer program.
He's just a Pikeville Medical from that day one.
A program to which he gave his all, through dedication and education.
You know, Bobby did what Bobby wanted to do. Nothing really hindered him. He had that frame of mind that, you know, when he put something in his mind that he was going to do, he just did it.
Focused on passing his compassionate character to the next generation.
You know, thinking about our youth and them growing up and having that commitment and work ethic and things like that, he tried to instill that also with them. He wanted to be a role model.
A mission he has now completed, as those who love him remember his legacy following his death Friday.
It was a shock. It was a major shock. I guess you feel like he was always going to be around, because he had been, you know?
Sharing stories of the fast and furious friend.
We were just used to him being in his Jazzy and move out of the way. I always told him I was going to put a flag on the back of it and a horn, a big old horn.
Whose reach is far from over.
With those 21 years, he touched a lot of lives.
In Pikeville, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
Bishop says she hopes the family knows how deep this loss is felt through the entire community as they celebrate his memory while mourning his loss, especially today, which would have been his 58th birthday. The Pike County Fiscal Court honored 2 area first responders today using a bridge on which they have often stood to help raise money to keep their communities safe. Willie Runyon and Glenn Atkins are founding members of the Millard Volunteer Fire Department, and to celebrate their 50 years of service to the community, the county commissioners voted unanimously to name the Millard Bridge near the old grade school in their honor. Runyon, still an active deputy chief at 90 years old, says it's an honor to be recognized by those he serves.
Well, this is all a surprise to me, every bit of it. I haven't heard the first word, and it's really an honor.
When asked how it's been to serve the community for most of his life, Runyon just laughed, saying, quote, "I like it or I wouldn't be here." Kentucky Treasurer and Eastern Kentucky native Allison Ball has announced that she will run for state auditor next year. Ball, who is finishing a second term as state treasurer, says she has delivered on her promise to serve as a watchdog of taxpayer dollars. Ball says as treasurer, her office returned $142 million in unclaimed property. Current auditor Mike Harmon is running for governor next year. The Kentucky Blood Center set up shop in Magoffin County today for a blood drive. The Salyersville Baptist Church, First Baptist Church, hosted the Kentucky Blood Center Mobile blood drive today from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. and more than 20 people came out to give blood. Salyersville Mayor and Magoffin County Health Department Director Pete Shepard says drives like these are important in small communities such as Salyersville.
Them coming in and doing is great for us local small towns and communities that really don't have the like I said, resources to really do it and do it correctly and every day, every month or whatever they come out.
Officials with the Kentucky Blood Center say a single unit of donated blood could save the life of up to 3 adults or up to 6 infants. We'll have more from the Magoffin County Mobile Blood Drive tonight at 11.
Well, the showers and storms are coming down here in Hazard tonight. Heavy rain falling here, and that could impact your outdoor plans this week. I'll have more on how that could do that in just a few minutes.
And a historic gaming facility is preparing to open up in Williamsburg, meaning Eastern Kentuckians won't have to travel nearly as far to place a bet.